Welcome to the 20 Podcast, bringing you interviews with the best DJs, producers, and music industry professionals from around the globe. I'm your host, DJ Spider. Yes, what is going on, Beatsourcers? How are you? You good? Okay, good. I like to hear that. You guys, this podcast, as always, is brought to you by Beatsource. Shout out to the whole team of Beatsource, making things happen, blazing trails, okay? Making all types of stuff happen that has never happened on this earth before, including Beatsource streaming. That's right. It's the music service, Beatsource, for open format DJs. We've got offline locker mode. You can store, so you can DJ from the cloud, right? But you can store these songs offline, so don't be worried about having Wi-Fi or not. This technology is incredible. The curated playlists are incredible. It's all great. So go on to beatsource.com, start your free trial. Tell me what you think. Hit us with questions, comments, all that stuff. Thank you guys for supporting me and hitting me with all your comments and questions and all that. Feel free to send me a message on Instagram at DJ Spider, DJ SPIDER. I've talked to you guys on there every week, and I love it. Thanks for coming out to my shows and all that. I always promote the stuff on there, so thank you again and again. And today, guys, let's get into our guest of the day, okay? Mad props to this person for coming out here and doing this. He's straight off the plane, straight to the studio. We've got a DJ, producer, talent buyer, and so much more hailing from Salt Lake City. This man has paid his dues. He's been a longtime radio DJ, plays for the University of Utah, along with the top nightclubs in Salt Lake City and Park City, Sky and Downstairs, as well as various spots around the country. He is an experienced DJ who loves DJing, cares about it, and has really put in the work. Not only is he the longtime resident at Sky in Salt Lake, he's the talent booker. So we're able to learn all sides of the DJ booking game from him and see where the trends are going. And just, he gives us valuable insight that I think no one else has. He has a very unique perspective, being on both sides of it and all the experience that he's had with it, and especially going through the pandemic with it and doing what he's doing now. So really cool to learn about that stuff. I think you guys are going to learn a lot about it. He's got a really inspirational journey, and he gives us insight into ways that we can take care of ourselves mentally and physically that I also think is very important. We can take a lot from. We get into all that along with discussing his new EP that he's produced and where his goals are and his future lies, and all types of funny stories from our DJ gigs. So please welcome to the show, Bangarang. All right, let's get into it. We are here. It's the 20 Podcast, and we got Bangarang on the show. Give it up!
What's up, sir? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Man, this is cool. I'm great.
I'm so glad you're here. Every time I read your name, in my head is the Skrillex Bangarang. So that's like, I can't talk like that, but that's what I hear. Bangarang.
Yeah.
Like every time. So that's I can't not think that every time, But also, thank you for coming out. I got you join an elite group of people who have flown out here to do the podcast, who have really gained my respect in a new way. And I really appreciate you taking the time and just having such amazing drive to come out here and do that. A few people, it's like, thank you. Thank you for taking the time.
I mean, you made the call, bro. You were like, yo, come out. Of course.
Spider,
I know. You Spider
I just
call,
meant
bro.
like if you're ever here, but the fact that you just come out, and I know, honestly, the flight from Salt Lake City to LA is not too bad. Like I've done it sometimes where I had a day gig and I've gone in the morning and come back at night, like, for something. So it's not bad, but still it's a lot traveling, all that. And so thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Well, thanks for being here. I'm excited to, get to know you better, have the audience get to know you better. I think, you're such an interesting dude because you do so many things. You're a DJ, you're a dope DJ, you're about your business, you know what you're doing, and you're a producer as well, but you also know all the different sides of the business, from booking to all the stuff, production, like we were saying. So I'm excited to get into all that stuff. And Yeah, thank you, for being here. So for the people that maybe don't know you or just want to get to know you better, I guess you want to tell us about yourself a little bit.
Yeah, man. So I grew up in Missouri. I'm based out of Salt Lake though. So I was born in Missouri, Kansas City, and I moved to St. Louis when I was 12.
Got it.
And then I've been in Utah since 2011, winter of 2011.
Okay.
I chased a girl out here, high school sweetheart. We broke up 2 weeks later.
Oh, okay.
But
does your EP have anything to do with that?
Nah, that's a later story.
Okay.
That's a later story.
I did notice that the first thing on your music EP that you just put out that we'll discuss, it's really dope. You guys got to check it, but it's called The Breakup or something, right? Okay.
Yeah, we'll get into that one later. That's a whew.
All right, so from Missouri, from Kansas City, Missouri, the barbecue central.
Yeah, best barbecue in the world.
Oh wow, okay, big claim.
Yeah,
I've gone and got some. I mean, I used to DJ Harrah's Kansas City, like the casino, which is supposedly in Kansas City, Missouri. But once I tried to get anywhere, I realized I was 45 minutes to an hour from any real place on earth. And this was the time, like the Uber. I mean, this is how old I am, guys, but there was no Uber. Like I had to literally have the hotel call me a taxi and get into it and pay this person to drive me 45 minutes. I forget what it was. I went to the most famous one. And I remember they wrapped it in paper, which a 45-minute drive back with meat wrapped in paper, it didn't travel too good, but it was so good. I'm in my room eating it and, incredible. But all right, so barbecue central. So you chased a girl out to Salt Lake City from Kansas City. Yeah,
man. And just kind of like after we broke up, I had I've always kind of been music like centric because when I was growing up, I lived in like the inner city and stuff. So like hip hop was like big. I'd always, and especially Missouri, we literally got music from everywhere.
Right.
Like especially Kansas City, the craziest thing, like the Bay Area
influence. I was going to mention that. I was going to see if you were going to mention it, but yeah.
Yeah, like the Bay Area influence in Kansas City is crazy. Like
insane.
Like rest in peace, Mac Dre, but
Mac Dre.
He passed away in Kansas City.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. But like we grew up listening to like Messy Marv, Mac Dre, E40, and this is like the 90s.
That's insane. I know when I got, because, like I said, I was DJing there back in the day, kind of pre-TikTok, I don't even know if Twitter was around yet, maybe the beginning, but it was on some MySpace type update thing. And I have memories of that time, like when you would DJ in LA, San Francisco, San Jose, San Diego, Vegas, play Blow the Whistle. What's my favorite word? Everybody sings it. Yep. And I remember going to Chicago and playing it and thinking everyone's going to sing it. Silence, going to other cities. And I'm like, oh, music has not traveled. People don't know the Bay Area stuff. And I'm so used to it being as part of my repertoire and loving it. And then I'm in Kansas City and I play like I'm in the building and I'm feeling myself or something. Oh my God, people go nuts.
Crazy.
And then I'm like, tell me when to go. And I'm playing like Bay Area songs. And it was almost like I was in the Bay Area. And I had to do research to find out that there's like this insane through line where it's the only other place in the country almost where it's like as big as the Bay Area.
Yeah, it's like crazy out there. But, in the 2000s, all the Dipset stuff was going off. Like my brother and cousins were like big Dipset fans, you know, Jay-Z fans, like Memphis Bleak, all those guys. But then like you had a lot of music coming out of the South too. Like we literally got music from everywhere in Missouri, like all over.
That's crazy.
And then like moving to Utah, like you've been to Utah. Like, let's call it what it is. It's pretty white out there. Like it's getting better. It's gotten a lot better since I've been there. It'll be 13 years in January. But or is it 12?
Okay.
But I've 13 years because it's 2024. But being able to bring all that with me, there was like a small pocket of people who knew that music and liked that music. And that's kind of how like I even got into DJing just in college in a fraternity. And
that's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, Salt Lake City also is somewhat close enough to Vegas in the Bay Area where it's that mid. I mean, both those cities are the middle of the country thing. I think Salt Lake City is like a kind of a main. It's become like a main city, right? Where
definitely
a lot of people come through, whether you're on a tour bus or whether you're flying through. It's like a kind of a hub, you know. And it's like you're so close to Denver and Aspen and that whole world of mountain life, you know, and then you're also so close to Vegas and everywhere, right?
Yeah, and our airport just got rebuilt.
I know.
Brand new.
What
Like,
the
walk
hell?
is
I feel
crazy.
bad for anybody that has to like walk. Any old person in that airport. Because I was so used to the old airport and then I come in and I'm like, I think I've been walking for like an hour. Like the person was like, yo, I'm picking you up. And I'm like, I don't know what's happening. Like I went up Google Maps like in the airport because I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And I must have walked like a mile and a half to get from my gate to the outside.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I saw like old people like falling down and dying. Like I was like, there was people like, you know, I'm like, they should have people movers or wheelchairs or like people were like literally look like they're going to pass out and die. Like the older people from the flight. I'm like, how could they walk this far? Like whoever designed that airport definitely did not walk that section, you know what I mean? And see what it was really going to be like. Or they need to install those things. But yes, the airport's nice, but it's way too spread out.
It's very spread out. There's a joke that like, so Mormons immigrated from Missouri actually to Salt Lake City, and they were like chased out of Missouri. So like, there's a joke that like, you know, they wanted to, you know, make people remember that walk as you're going to B gate. But pro tip, just fly Delta. Just fly because Delta, I'm pretty sure, somebody fact check me, but I'm pretty sure like they invested money in it.
Oh, and so they got the closest.
So all of A gate is all Delta flights.
I always do Southwest there because it's easy. They got a Burbank flight, and so I do the Southwest, and I got the little, you know, I use it for my short flights, and then other than that, I'm on American, so it's like hard for me to go Delta. But I've done it here and there when I have to, and that's good advice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's hilarious. So it's basically a religious pilgrimage to go from the Southwest gates to the Uber pickup.
Yes,
you become Mormon.
Yeah,
I wonder how many people have converted. You're like, yo, I'm Jewish, but I'm Mormon by the end of this walk. Yeah.
But
I learned a lot about myself.
My man got baptized and everything.
Yeah, it's like it's crazy. I got two wives. No, I don't know what Mormon is. No.
But to your point though, we're basically like a hub for anywhere on the West Coast. Like I love living there because I think this flight probably cost me, and I booked it like 3 weeks ago or whatever, like $150.
Oh yeah, I've had some $70 flights, you know, to Southwest to Salt Lake and back,
in and out, because like we're a hub. You can literally get anywhere on the West Coast for like less than $200 within like 3 weeks. Right. You know? Yeah. Obviously, I'm going to Vegas in a few weeks, but there's a lot of stuff happening, like the Pac-12 title game, NFR, and like the mid-season tournament.
They've just been going crazy on those Vegas flights. Like I've never seen anything like it. I had to go the past 2 weeks, and I've never seen one-way $400 Southwest flights like come on. To and from LA. I was like, what? I've never paid this much.
I'm gonna just drive.
Yeah, and there wasn't even that much going on yet. I know. Yeah. But then every time I've done the quote unquote let me just drive, like the drive back, I've always regretted it. The drive there, I'm cool, but it's the drive back where I'm like, why did I do this? I will pay an extra $200 to not drive or something.
Yeah, that part.
You can drive Salt Lake City to Vegas pretty easy, right? No. Or no?
The drive to LA from Vegas is short. Is shorter. I won't do that drive because, like you said,
I've done it on a bus, but I wasn't driving. I just looked out the window.
Nah, it's 5 hours from Salt Lake to Vegas, but it's the drive back. Oh, man, like, and there's nothing out there. There's just like mountains, and like if that's what you're into. I just did it back in August with my mom and stuff, but like, she's the only person I would road trip for. Yeah, especially when like Frontier and Spirit is like $20 one way.
Yeah, especially if you plan that out. You're like, yo, I just need
to get there.
A bag, a backpack. Don't talk to anybody. You have your little water.
Literally.
You can take the $19 Spirit flight.
Exactly.
Put your head down. Just get there. You know, it's like, it's only bad if you take that flight and you have like a bunch of crap to bring or something.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that's dope. So you ended up in Salt Lake, and but you started DJing in Salt Lake City or in Missouri?
No, in Salt Lake City.
Oh, okay.
Like I was always the music guy in Missouri, but like in Salt Lake specifically, I started DJing. This was like 2011.
And how'd you get into it? Who'd you know, or how did that start?
Bro, I actually knew nobody. Yeah. So like what happened was this was 2011, peak EDM era, like Alesso, Deadmau5, it was big room shit. Right. And that was all kind of new to me. Yeah. But we would be at these parties, and I would always be putting together the playlist or whatever, and finally it just got to a point to where DJing was starting to become a lot more mainstream than it is now. Like, and I was able to I was going to these parties, and I was seeing what these guys were doing or whatever. So So I picked up a controller and I used some student loan money.
Nice. Good.
Picked up a controller and got a laptop and just kind of started messing around in my dorm room. And from there, like I was doing, so we had a frat, I was just doing house parties. And then we had the same frat, Kappa Sigma, we had a chapter up at the University of Utah. They actually initiated us. Like we started that chapter at Utah Valley University.
Oh, cool.
And they liked what I was doing. So I would come up there and do their shit. And then I started just meeting more DJs just based off of that.
Yeah.
And from there, I met a few guys. One guy in particular, his name is Del Maggio, really dope guy. And he was like, you know, if you want to really take this stuff serious, this is what you like. Here's what you should do if you're like serious about this. Mm-hmm. Referring to like learning technique or learning how to mix on vinyl at the time. This Serato itch.
Oh yeah,
Serato itch era.
I remember that.
Yeah, yeah. So I actually I bought an NS7 and then I ended up getting some turntables, but like they weren't Techniques. They were like these little plastic belt drive ones, and like, I was kind of embarrassed. So I spray painted them in my dorm bathroom. I spray painted them black.
I mean, you know, that's great. Yeah,
and bought a little SL3, and I had this Behringer 4000 DDM 4000 or something like that.
Yeah,
with a SL3 box that I ended up getting around like 2011, and then just really started like DJing more and more and more. I went from doing these house parties to like connecting with people in student government. And I was doing, at this point, like I'm like 3 years in and I'm doing like these 4,000 like people parties for like, you know, like the Halloween dances at colleges and stuff like that. Like insane shit.
Right. Yeah, that's a good thing to tap into. I remember in college, like those student government people are like, they would have crazy money and booking power that people don't really, not everyone realizes.
Yeah. So like before you know it, like I was doing colleges. I had my college I was doing. I had another college called Snow College, which is probably about 45 minutes, an hour, actually, hour and some change south. And then I was doing the University of Utah. I was also doing Weber State, which is about an hour north. So like I was just doing all these universities and stuff.
Right.
And it just kind of like, it really just snowballed me, but it prepared me for so much shit that I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
You know, which we'll like get into, but through all of that, I ended up meeting some radio people, and that just kind of like that really changed like, how I mixed,
right,
like completely, because,
right.
You know, mixing on radio is a
you mean seeing
different.
Because then you ended up being on the radio from there.
Mm-hmm.
So what was that like? What were you doing? Like you were a mix show DJ or something?
Yeah. So how that started is I started off doing at the time Eracalypse, which is like my brother. He's so dope.
Right. There's been a lot of battles of the E-Rock name over time, right?
You know, it's a funny story.
Shout out to E-Rock that lives in Vegas now.
Yeah.
You know, DJ E-Rock.
They went to the same high school.
No way.
Yeah. I
because
can't remember
then, you know, there was
older.
an E-Rock New York, and then I knew just random dudes named Eric that called themselves E-Rock just in LA that weren't even a DJ.
Yeah.
It's like my phone had too many E-Rocks.
E-Rock. You got to start putting states next to
them. And
them.
there's E-Rock. Oh, my God. Yeah. Yeah, they need states, you know. So.
But Eracalypse, he was our program director at KUUU, U92. And I had actually got into radio, not even mixing. I was a remote tech for our alternative station.
Oh.
So, like, I was going and setting up live broadcasts and stuff. The promotions director at the time, over X96, he was a DJ, and he was kind of like a mentor to me. His name was Jarvicious, great guy. He kind of brought me on, and then I met Eracalypse because he was the program director, and I just went to him like, hey, I'm doing this over here, but like at the time we would have mixers at our live remotes for the hip hop station U92.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know, if there's ever an opportunity to where, you know, one of your mixers can't make it, like, I'm around. I'm in the building.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like young. I'm just hungry. Like I'm trying to get in there. And one day he like called me and was like, yo, we need a mixer. And it was like $50-$60, bro, for like 2 hours. But show up with your mixer and laptop and play clean music for 2 hours. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Especially like this is 2014, 2015. So like radio is still something. Not that radio is not anything now. But
Yeah.
this is.
But everything's different. There was no, I mean, TikTok, so many things have taken over. Not, radio's still there, but so many other things for people to put their attention on now.
Yeah. Yeah. So like radio was still like what it was. And I was a remote tech for I was a remote DJ for a really long time. And then like, I had a really dope roommate. His name is JR. He's still in radio. In fact, this man is so cool. He's done radio in like 3 or 4 different countries. Like,
oh my
no joke.
God.
Yeah. So we met in Salt Lake City, but he started doing radio in like Virginia, like in high school, because he's from Virginia.
Yeah.
So then he moved to he did radio in North Carolina. Then he did radio in Illinois, and then he did radio in Salt Lake City, and that's how we met.
Oh,
but then he left Salt Lake to do radio in Malaysia.
Does he speak other languages?
Nah, he doesn't.
Damn.
He doesn't. But now he's doing radio in Saudi Arabia and killing it.
In English? Or what is he?
Yeah.
He just DJing? Or
no, he's doing like legit radio.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he was our night guy at the time. And
he's DJing for Ronaldo out there?
I know. I'm like, yo, Jay, let me get a jersey or something. Let me get a drop. But he was our night guy and music director. And
that's crazy.
Yeah, bro. And like I'll never forget this story because it sticks out to me. So we had I was at the University of Utah. We had a dance that night. It was Crimson Nights. It was the first night. And they called me. They're like, hey, so-and-so can't do their mix on the radio this weekend. Can you record a mix? And I'm like setting up this event. I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could do it. So at that time, I recorded like this 30-minute mix or what? Yeah, it was like a 30-minute mix. Was it 225? Whatever. I recorded this mix as I'm like setting up, or after we had finished setting up, like sound checking or whatever. I sent it to him, and then like
you recorded it at the remote thing before it started.
Yeah, like I recorded this at the event before it started.
How, like inside Serato or something?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God, that's
because
amazing.
with the SL box,
Right.
you could like record, like you had to plug in the like RCA out into like some weird shit. I'm so glad we don't have to do that anymore.
Oh my God, I know.
But yeah, and then from that point on, like I took over. I had a weekly mix show on Thursdays and Fridays at nights.
Wow. So that led right to that.
That led like right to that. All while like I was kind of like breaking into like the club scene a little bit.
Yeah.
And like the club and bar scene. I used to DJ at this bar called Donkey Tails.
Oh my God.
Like, listen, bro. Like
I have a lot of visions right when you said those words, like of what that could be.
It's a lot of things.
Donkey Tails.
Yeah, that was my Saturday residency, and then Friday I had a residency.
What was the story behind that name?
Bro, just local owners, man, and like they were just really cool people, and
Right.
like
Does it mean anything, a donkey tail?
Nah, it's crazy, and it's like a Mexican restaurant.
Okay.
Like the name of the Mexican. The name
I
of
mean,
the
that
Mexican
could be like a wrestling move, or like I don't know what that is. That could be.
It could be
like
anything.
I mean, a DJ move. I don't know. I'm gonna hit him with the donkey tail right now.
Stupid.
Okay, that's
But
crazy.
like the name of the restaurant was Guadalajara.
No,
I shit you not, and it's still
and
there.
so Donkey Tails was the bar.
Yeah, it was attached to it.
and
Yeah.
Guadalajara.
Yes, yes. I swear.
Were the owners like Latin? Like was it like white people?
Yeah,
And so they wanted.
Yeah.
It's the honky thing with the
Yeah.
Guadalajara. Oh my God.
yeah. It was crazy, but
That's some Utah right there.
Utah, baby. But
That's amazing.
that was my Saturday night. But I can't remember. So how I was doing all this frat stuff, right?
Yeah.
This frat hired me to do their Halloween party on a Thursday at like this old venue called In the Venue. And it used to be like basically just like a giant warehouse or whatever. And I DJ there, crush it. The club owner's there. He's like, yo, we want you to come play on our Fridays. Come to find out, it was an 18 plus like LGBTQ night.
Oh, okay.
So like, and the thing about like the gay crowd or the LGBTQ crowd is they will tell you what they like, what they don't like.
Right.
Like with a quickness.
Okay.
And it was really that was so much fun because on like Fridays I'm playing like high energy EDM and like I'm talking like at this point it's like 2013, 2014. I'm playing big room just for like 5 hours.
Oh my
getting
God.
paid like $200 to DJ from 9 to 2.
Wow.
Like, but whatever, it's an opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
like,
dude, honestly, this story so far is the definition of paying your dues. You know what I mean? And showing up and being there and having these experiences and leading. You know, it's just for everyone that just thinks, oh, well, I want to DJ and then they become a DJ. It's like there's so many elements to what you've done. Yeah, levels, exactly. And all of it goes into your knowledge and your experience and who you are and how all the things you're doing now, you would never be able to do without any of that knowledge, you know?
Bro, no, not at all. Like that was the first place I was forced to learn CDJs.
Right.
Because they were like, all right, this is what we have in house.
Yeah.
And I was bringing my turntables, but I have these plastic ass turntables that like, and at the time,
Damn, you
like,
still have the plastic turntables?
yeah, I still have them. I mean, listen, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like,
just spray paint it.
just spray paint it.
Just spray paint it. No one will know. They're not gonna know. No one will know.
But like, this was my first real experience with like bass.
Oh God.
The speakers were underneath.
No phase.
Yeah, there was no phase at this point.
No.
So
at
like,
that point, your needles just go
across.
Yeah,
I'm mixing on internal. So I had to learn, but that forced me to learn CDJs. But it also put me in a position to where like, all right, bet, cool. Like, I'm digging more into like this dance music world, getting out of like my comfortable like hip hop shell that like I'm in. So I was doing that on Fridays. So I had my mix show Thursday and Friday nights from like 9 to 10. Had my LGBTQ night Fridays from like 9 to, they would let me come in late. Or was it 8? I think it was 8 to 9, whatever. And then I had this like old school hip hop night on Saturdays at this spot called Donkey Tales. It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
That's another
crazy.
Part of paying your dues. You know what I mean? You're like, I mean, that's even to this day, so many times where I'm like, I just did 3 gigs and they were all completely different. Not one song overlapped in all of them.
All of them. And it's nice.
Yeah. It keeps you on your toes and awake and, you know, working. Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Did you ever get turntables?
So I ended up, there's this guy, his name was DJ Travick, and he had extra Stanton ST-150s. Okay. Those were like my first like turntables, and I don't know if you remember them, but those were like a 50-pound turntable.
Okay, no,
like,
I don't.
It's not a light turntable.
Right.
And like one of them actually just went out, I think, during pandemic, but I still have the other
pounds.
one. Bro, it's not a light. And then with the case, it's like 75 pounds.
That's crazy.
Bro. Like, it's not light. So I ended up getting those, and he sold them to me for cheap, like $400 for the pair.
Oh, nice.
Like those were like my first direct drive turntables. And then after my other one went out, I bought a Pioneer, but I still use my ST-150 that works, because once again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Was your name Bangarang at the time?
Yeah, it's always been Bangarang.
So, when did that? So you started out with that name. Mm-hmm. Where did it come from?
So Hook, it's my favorite movie.
Oh, okay, okay,
yeah,
that's cool.
There's a scene in it where like Robin Williams is like he goes back to Never Neverland, and like he's about to fight the not fight, but like he and Rufy are about to have like words or whatever. And the kids are like, be Bangarang, Peter, be Bangarang. And to me, I kind of took that as like like always be young and like have energy and like be fun.
Oh, I love
like
that.
Something like that inner, like, you know, like that inner child type shit.
Yeah, that's so cool.
So like, that's kind of like, that's where that came from.
I love that. It's a good,
thank you.
Good meaning to the name. I didn't even realize that. Like I said, the Skrillex thing's always popping out of my head, but I'm like, I know he didn't name himself after that.
Man, you know what's crazy? And
that came out later, the Bangarang.
No, the same time. I started DJing at the same time.
Right, because that's one of his first songs, right? Yeah, and that's probably 2011.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Crazy.
Fucking crazy.
Good timing.
Yeah.
All right, I didn't want to throw you off course. So
good.
So you were on the radio twice a week. You're doing the clubs. You got the 3 residencies, old school hip hop, EDM, the other one, and where, you know, I guess, where did things go from there?
Man, so like I eventually like the LGBTQ night kind of like fizzled out. You know, like people just weren't coming.
Yeah.
And you know, nothing lasts forever.
Yeah.
So like that ended up dying, and then I was man, what happened? And then I think for a long time I just didn't have a Friday. I was just taking like random miscellaneous gigs like throughout the city.
Yeah.
Kind of like getting my name out there. But like through this, I actually ended up getting on the radio like not like full time. I'm still doing the remotes, but now like my mix show kind of expanded from like, cause one of the other DJs didn't want to do it. So my role, I now had like a mix show like Monday through Friday, at least for, just for an hour. And like radio,
it's a lot though.
It is a lot. It's a lot. Like it's an hour, but it's a lot. And you can't sound the same every night.
But you have to use only 8 songs or something, right? I mean, not really, but I'm exaggerating. But you've got a small pool of music to work with. Yeah, you're in a corporation at a job, Yeah, and you have to prep for it. Yeah, and doing that, I mean, even doing this podcast or doing DJ sets, it takes so much out of you. Like we're exhausted at the end.
Man, you have no idea. And it's like, well, you have an idea. But
you don't, the listener. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. All of you do.
But we I'm forever grateful for radio because it made me a better club DJ.
Yeah, interesting.
Because like you're programming music. Like you have to have you want to play familiar music the entire night, right? But you also want to play new music in there. But you have to know like, all right, bet, cool. I'm going to play the new Travis Scott, but I'm also going to follow it up with some shit that I know people know. Because the cool kids are going to know the new Travis Scott or going to know the new Doja or whoever the fuck.
Right.
But like, you know what I'm saying? Janice, who's celebrating her birthday over here at this table, isn't going to know that. She wants to hear Rihanna.
Exactly.
So it's like radio really like helped me like mature as a DJ. And I think really kind of like propelled me versus like some of my other like counterparts who were like my age. And you know what I'm saying? Like not trying to like shit talk those guys or anything. Yeah. But it gave me like an advantage.
Yeah.
Over everyone else. I ended up like so I was doing radio and I just stopped doing radio last year actually.
Oh, okay. So you're doing it through the pandemic and stuff too.
Yeah, so crazy shit, man. Like on the radio stuff, I ended up becoming a night jock. So I was talking on the radio 6 nights a week and it got to a point to where I was doing middays and doing mix show.
Wow. Like what station?
KUUU, U92, 92.5. Well, they're Utah's beat now or the rhythm. I don't know what they're doing.
Right.
Once I left.
Yes. You're like, I'm not turning that station on anymore.
Yeah. XM.
Got it. Yeah.
But I ended up, as all this is happening, I ended up, Sky got built. And I believe Sky opened up in 2015, 2016. I should know these things. Maybe it was 2014. I should really know these things.
That's a while ago though.
Yeah. And they were kind of doing whatever. And then Saturday nights it was like, all right, it's gonna be our open format night. And I waited and waited and waited. And finally I had an opportunity through the Sky. His name is Ian Hiscock, and he's still with us, but he works for a partner company called LNE Presents, and they bring all our big EDM acts, all of them.
Got it.
Like they do this big music festival, DOS Energy, which is like our big,
it's huge,
massive. But at the time, he was like their booker. Okay, so it was like, yo, and like we had known each other through mutuals. So he was like, yo, we're looking for like a DJ to come in here and like warm up. So my very first set was actually November, like 7 years ago.
Oh, crazy!
Like, and I opened up for her name is DJ Lux, and I started there, and I was opening like once a month, maybe once every other month, and then it kind of led into like twice a month. You know what I'm saying? It went like once a month to like twice a month, and then like 3 times, and then it's like, just plan on being here every Saturday.
Nice.
Type shit. You know what I'm saying? So like they got me out of my out of like the donkey tail spot, which there was nothing wrong with that spot, right? Like
but sometimes you just, like you said, nothing lasts forever.
Exactly. You know, and like you need to grow.
You have to evolve.
Yeah. And it's so I
and
was,
Sky, I mean, for people that don't know, is the biggest nightclub in Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
And I mean, probably one of the most successful, right? I mean, it seems like I follow you guys online and I see all the people you book, and I mean, it looks incredible. And I go out there a lot. I always mean to go, but I'm doing some other gigs or something. And like, I've been so close to be like, oh, I could go there, but I was doing something else. But yeah, it looks incredible, and just so people understand the scale of it, you know, and how big it is, and I mean, Salt Lake City is a big city, so
yeah. And we've got new owners and stuff now, and like we'll get into that later.
Okay,
but like being at Sky. And I was like the resident there every Saturday for like,
and when they pulled you for every Saturday, you're saying they made you the main DJ, not the opener.
No, I was the opener. I never headlined.
Oh,
it was like I never headlined. I didn't really like. There was a few times I headlined.
But so when you were every Saturday, you mean they're booking some big act or whoever seemed appropriate to be booked on a Saturday night that they think would have a draw.
Like for the most part, it was open format DJs.
Okay,
like it was always open format DJs unless they had like an act come through. And then they would have like another bigger DJ in the city, and that shit always pissed me off.
Oh
like, but because
you're like, dues. I'm opening for this person, I paid all these dues, I did all this stuff, and
just like mad. They're like, oh, we got so and so coming through. I'm like, all right, bet, I'm ready. And they're like, actually, we have so and so, and I'm like, damn. But yeah, I played like pretty much every Saturday for like 5 years, really up until pandemic. Like that was like, hey, like you're our guy. And then pandemic hit, but I look back at that and I'm so grateful for it because like I'm around like the best DJs in the world. Like I'm opening for guys like you or what I'm saying, Karma or Fashion or Jersey or Angie V or whoever, you know what I'm saying? Like, all these DJs who are playing like these really big rooms in like these other markets, I'm seeing how they're mixing like firsthand and like and just by like virtue of just being there, you know what I'm saying? Like I give Crooked like a lot of props because I can honestly tell you I slam records because of Crooked.
Yeah.
Like not even trying to like take his style or anything, but it's just like I see how it, you know what I'm saying? Like
100%. I remember seeing Mark Ronson like first DJ, and that was some of my first experiences with insanely impactful slamming of records.
Bro,
you know what I mean?
Man.
Because I was so caught up in the West Coast vibe and the blending and even I was coming from like rave culture and drum and bass where everything was mixed together.
Yeah.
But even the mashups and the smoothness and LA radio and I wanted everything to be smooth and nobody to notice what was happening. Yeah. And then I get to go do these gigs with him and I'm opening for him and I would open and do what I think was, at the time was mashups. I'm putting, Pitbull over Bust a Move. Like I don't know what I'm doing and it's fun. And then he would get on and, he could do all types of DJing, but it was the slamming of the records and that New York thing that really stood out to me and just being able to do something else and everyone would go, oh my God. And it was just like lose their mind. And I know like, and Crooked is another person that I've seen do that insanely successfully and, just has that New York through his blood. As long as he lives in Vegas, he's still a New York DJ. Yeah. To me, his style and, Mark Ronson and just, it's an East Coast thing and some people are better at it and some than others, but it can have this insanely impactful thing. And that was when I started incorporating to my set and go, oh, okay, I could do my style, do a couple of those drops, do other, and then it just makes you better, and smarter, and you have new techniques to DJ with, and that's the fun thing of listening to other DJs. You know what I mean? Even if you take one thing from them, whether it's just one song or one style of mixing that then you can incorporate your own, it's like it's huge. Like we're constantly always growing as DJs, and there's never an end. It's like an infinite learning process. So that's so cool to hear. Yeah,
man, and like Karma, right? Like he was like our
DJ
resident.
Karma.
Yeah, DJ Karma.
Come on.
That's my guy.
Unreal, dude. Like he, because again, with that, the whole thing was when I was opening for Mark Ronson, I entered a contest for Rockstar Energy drink. This is kind of how I got my big break. And I sent a mix in and Mark Ronson was the judge. It was a 30-minute mix. They ended up picking me. I get to go on tour with him and do all this stuff. And a couple of the prize was sort of like opening for him in these different cities. And funny enough, this conversation was that we would play at Tangerine in Vegas.
Yeah.
And Karma opened for me.
Yeah.
Karma was the main opener. So he
Yeah.
would open and close. I did like an hour set. Then Mark Ronson would do his main like headliner set. Then Karma goes back on.
Yeah.
And that was my first, and this was maybe 2006, you know,
Yeah.
2007. This is before you were even DJing.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing Karma and just, holy shit. I was like intimidated and impressed, you know, because I was just like, what the hell? Like I love scratching, I love blending, and I'm very confident in my skills. But oh my God, this guy, he seemed like he had an unlimited amount of music, and he could scratch so good, and he could read the crowd so good, and he was doing everything. It was like amazing. So mad props to Karma. Like, it was like I learned so much about the open and closing thing just from watching him, you know, and just from those few times, and then I would see him through Vegas through the times, and he's so good.
Yeah,
you know?
That's my brother. Like over everything, we talk like every day. That's my boy.
Great.
Like,
all right, well, tell him I said what up. I got endless, you know, respect for him.
Yeah, but it just being in that room, like really, I feel like shaped me, and just being there and just sitting behind and just watching.
Yeah, really
shaped like my DJ career, that and like radio, because it just. I'm not afraid to take risks now.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just, there was just so much that I've just learned just from being at Sky that it's like, damn, like, that's crazy. Like, it's really a blessing.
Yeah, it is. I mean, being around the other, because, and that's the other thing. Everyone's like, oh, as the opener, you sit and listen to the headliner, you learn a lot. And like, I'm saying I was the headliner, and I would learn so much from the openers a lot. I remember being in Miami and hearing Conflict and being like, he opened for me, and I'm like, this guy's insane. And then I play, and then he gets back on, and just like, then his second set was insane, and like, I learned so much from it. Yeah. And I was just, you know, it's just like we can all learn from each other no matter what. Absolutely. You know, so that's why it's fun seeing everyone from Tiesto Cascade to someone I've never heard of that just started, and I could take just as much, probably more, a lot of times from the openers, you know, because they have nothing propelling them like the name of the, you know, the big famous person. You know, they're just relying purely on their skills and killing it with the crowd. So it's fun. I love hearing other DJs, you know, and like being in Vegas late night and just hearing stuff like, damn, this, I don't even know who this is, and they're killing it. Yeah. So that's a good point. That's a cool thing.
Yeah, man.
So the pandemic, basically you did your residency up till the pandemic at Sky. Obviously the pandemic was an insanely hard time for all of us, an insanely, you know, a time that changed the course of a lot of people's lives, taught us to understand that, money wasn't going to come in infinitely, and that gigs could disappear in a millisecond, and our whole life could stop. Right? So, like, what are some of the things that you took from that, or what happened when it stopped? Like, because you weren't doing the bookings at Sky at that time, right?
I was not.
And now you're in the position where that's what you're doing. And I know even that has been evolution, right? And what you said with the new owners. Yeah. So, what happened? Like, everything stops, and then what'd you end up doing during the pandemic?
So literally 2018 or so, I bought Ableton, like the intro version. And I kind of started like messing around with it, because I'm like, all right, I want to get into producing. I want to make my own mashups, or, you know, I want to be able to sound different. Right. Like, do my own thing.
Yeah. Also, those edits you made for that Alma piano party were dope. I listened to them on your Instagram.
Thank you.
And that party looked cool.
Yeah, we'll get to that too.
Yeah. What's the other, June?
DJ June.
He's dope. I actually, you know, no offense, June, I hadn't heard of him before till maybe a couple months ago. I saw someone post Amy Robbins posted on her story, and he was doing, what was it, Utah Jazz?
He's a DJ for the Jazz.
But like, he's so different. Man. And I loved it. It was crazy. Just from her little clips, he's playing like music that makes you feel something. Like, he was playing like Afro beats, but like a trumpet solo, like something that I think most DJs would be afraid to play. You have to have confidence. Just from my little clip, I'm like, this dude has confidence to be in the middle of this arena and playing stuff that people don't really know. Yeah. But if you do listen to it, it made you feel good, and it was really good music, and it was perfect for the place and time, but it was very different from any sports DJ I've ever heard. So I started following him immediately, and then I saw you post, and I'm like, oh, I gotta meet this person. You know.
Yeah, he's cool. Next time you're in Salt Lake,
Yeah,
I'll
I'd
make
love
sure
to.
like we all link up. But June is very much like we'll talk about the piano thing.
Yeah.
So like,
sorry.
no.
So
bro.
you got. I didn't mean to throw you off. 2018, you got Ableton.
Oh, okay. So yeah, 2018, I got Ableton, and I was just kind of messing around making edits or whatever. And then pandemic hit, obviously, and then I was just inside, like we all were.
Yes.
But I said I made a goal to just like I'm going to learn Ableton, like, and I'm still learning it to this day, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a never end. I feel like I've barely scratched the surface.
Yeah.
But it's like I made it a goal to like I'm going to learn Ableton. I'm going to become like this is going to be something that even if I don't become like an established producer or something like that, like I want to at least be fluent in it. I want to know how to the ins and outs of it and like work it. So like that was pretty much what I did. Like I tried the streaming thing, didn't really stream too much. You know, like my focus was because I was also still doing radio. Yeah. So some
DJs had jobs still like that at least, you know. So
and it was cool because like I would literally go in, record my show and leave. Like it wasn't like anything crazy.
Right.
But really all I did during pandemic was Ableton.
Oh wow.
And just kind of like I meshed, like I said, I messed around with streaming a little bit, but it wasn't like but
it was a time for everybody to find what they wanted to do. Some people completely stopped DJing. I mean, all kinds of things happen.
So as we were coming out of the pandemic, the guy who was doing the bookings at Sky, he got another job. He was just tired of nightlife and stuff. Shout out Matt. Like, Matt
there was
Williams.
No one to book, right?
There's no one to book. But this guy Matt Williams, he's like single-handedly like responsible for like where I am now, like dead ass. Like would not be in this room had it not been for him. Like, wow. Like yo, like you're
shout to Matt Williams.
Literally,
what up?
That's my brother. But he was like, we're Bang should be the guy. He knows all the connections, and I had built all the connections
as the booker.
Yeah, like he should be the booker for like our Fridays and Saturdays, right? Because our promoter, our EDM promoter V2, they do Wednesdays and Thursdays. Yeah. So I took over booking our Fridays and Saturdays, and Fridays are always kind of like our rental days, but Saturdays were like, all right, we're gonna do our traveling days. Yeah. But during the pandemic, we built. That's when we built out our rooftop. Oh, like the owner at the time, he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna build out the rooftop, and that got built. So we reopened in 2021. Yeah, it was 2021, like May of 2021. Right. We were like the last venue to open in Salt Lake City because we're the biggest, and we can't like really hide under the radar, like so like some of the other spots. Right. I think during pandemic, like low key, like Salt Lake was probably shut down like a whole 4 months. Oh, like, really? DJs were probably out of work for like 3 or 4 months.
Here was like 3 years.
Nah, bro.
Like, I felt like the first thing I went back was like the Super Bowl or something. It was like years later. Like, it was hard here. You know, I'm sure you could go downtown to some weird shady after hours, but like besides that, there was nothing going on because all the spotlights on here, you know, here and places like New York and whatever. So,
but Utah's also a red state too. So it was very much we
don't believe this shit.
We don't believe it. Like one club owner actually sued the health department because they were trying to keep him shut down, and he was like, "I'll shut down, but like, are y'all gonna like pay my bills?" Type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no aid for these businesses.
I know.
But no. So I took over booking in 2021, and then May of 2022 was when the new ownership came in. Okay. And, I'd been there. And they had hired me, and they had like set me down. I was like, "Listen, this is happening. We want you on the team, you know, to like kind of like talent buy for us, and focus primarily on like hip hop, R&B, and like electronic stuff." Cool. And that's kind of like where I am like right now, like up to that point. Like, and at this time, I was still doing radio, and radio was good, but like we had owners and myself and Eracalypse didn't really like agree with the direction they wanted to take it. It's like you have two of the biggest DJs in the state programming your radio station. You don't want to listen to us. Right. But you know, you have like 75, 80-year-old like dudes. Yeah. You know, trying to tell you what's hot and like what's not. And it's like listen, I understand like the rating system you guys use or whatever and all that other stuff, but like it's not what's happening with your listeners. I can tell you firsthand what's happening with your listeners. Like what people I get paid to do this. Like I'm traveling to these different markets. I'm doing all these different things. I get paid to know what people like to listen to. I'm not saying I'm right.
Yeah.
But I'm also saying like people don't want to hear hip hop hooray. All the time. All the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like 6
There's
times
only
a day.
so much
come on.
hey ho.
Exactly.
Do, you know.
So like it kind of like there was an opportunity for me to leave radio but then jump into a better situation.
Great.
And so I left radio in May of 2022 and like been doing like the talent buying and DJ stuff ever since, and it's been cool.
Nice. So yeah, it's been about a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And wow, I mean, there's so much to dig in for that. Like what? And so as far as the talent buying, like, do you? Because you said you had the deal with V2, so they handle that stuff.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any deals with other companies that sort of like supply you with the booking things, or you book off either their rosters or like a Live Nation type thing, or you just fully like, I'm figuring it out, myself?
So Live Night Events, LNE Presents is our company, and we communicate directly with agencies. Okay. So, like Live Nation is technically a competitor, but like we also it's called co-pro. So like we'll go half on events with them at not necessarily at Sky, but at some of our other venues. Like Sky is just one of our venues. Like we're a whole restaurant group. Oh, okay. We have restaurants. We have Soundwell, which is our 600 cap. Sky is our 900 cap. And then we just last year opened up like a festival style venue called Granary Live, which is like 6,000 people.
Whoa, outside?
Yeah, outside. So we kicked off Don Tolliver's tour this year.
Damn, at our venue. 6,000 people? Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, we had about 4,000, 5,000 people there for Don Tolliver. It was insane.
I gotta come check that out.
I'll show
insane.
you videos.
Yeah, please.
I'll show you videos.
Where is it? Like in the middle of the city or
something? So it's so Salt Lake is in this really big growth spurt right now.
Yeah.
And like the city is like really going all in on like the city. One thing that I love,
I got paid by like the city to do a few gigs before. Like they flew me to open. I feel like I don't know what happened, but I've done a few gigs where it was like the money came from the city. Or I opened for Bone Thugs and Harmony, like at some massive, it was like a festival. Like there was thousands of people. I didn't know what I was coming to. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And they said, oh yeah, the city's putting this on. It was like a Salt Lake City festival or something.
And like, that's one thing I love about Utah is like everybody is so like local centric. Like no matter like what you believe in, all the money is staying in Salt Lake City.
Right.
Which I think is why like you didn't see a lot of businesses closing downtown. And even if you like go downtown, like right now, you don't see that many chains down, like food chains or any sort of like big chains downtown. They're all kind of like out. It's like a Jimmy John's or some shit.
Right.
But like Jimmy John's are like everywhere.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah. But like the city is just basically, revitalizing
Even
downtown.
Park City, I guess there's like a Burger King that's been there forever. Besides that, it's a lot of like mom and pop things and Harvest and like random spots that are just like, oh, this is cool, and very like community city oriented and stuff. You're right. I didn't think about it like that, but it's late at night. There's nowhere to eat.
Yeah, that part. That part.
Gotta go to that 7-Eleven.
Yeah, that 7-Eleven right there. Exactly.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's Sundance life. Yeah, I'm already like I'm trying to find a place to rent right now for my son for January. I was like trying to hit up the person I rented last year, and it's like out of commission on Airbnb. So I'm like, I was hitting up people yesterday, like, okay, if you know anyone that wants to rent a spot.
Have you talked to Seth yet?
No, I'll hit him up.
Okay.
But usually he's the best. I mean, I love Seth. Shout to Seth. Downtown. Yeah. I mean, downstairs. Legendary spot in Park City. But yeah, that's, for people who don't know what I'm talking about, I DJ Sundance Film Festival a lot up there, and we got to hang, remember? That was this year, weirdly enough. Well, January.
It was, because Angie V was there.
Yeah, remember? I got videos and pictures of us in Tao, like watching, I don't know who was the Chainsmokers, or what was happening, or Ruckus, or I don't know who was playing.
Lights were out that
Mel DeBarge.
Yeah.
What was that? I mean, a lot happened those couple nights.
This year.
Yeah, right?
Wow.
was fun. So yeah, Sundance Film Festival is up in Park City, which is you fly to Salt Lake City and you take like a 45-minute car up to Park City, and then it's just insane. This little town where everybody's crammed in there, and Tao does a night, and everybody does these big nights, and all that.
But so yeah, we They brought me on, and we have all these different venues. Oh, I was talking about downtown, but so the city is just investing in downtown. Like there's cranes everywhere. Like and we happen to. They were like, yo, like we're building out this district called the Granary District, which is like this industrial district. So, and the owners Joey, Yvonne, and Brian, they can tell you more about it. Because I'm a talent buyer. That's that's above my pay grade. I'm here, they're here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they don't need you focusing on that.
Exactly. Right. So, so we opened up that, but it's the year and a half. It's been cool, right? Like, it's we deal directly with agencies, and that's just been like a growing like pain in itself.
Oh, really? You're trying to figure out who to deal with? You mean as far as which agencies are solid or not?
Well, no, not even so much as that, man. Just like picking talent. It's just like it's because and just convincing people that there's culture in Utah. Like it just convincing people that like, hey, it's gonna be okay.
Right.
Come to Salt Lake. Like you're going to have a good time. There is nightlife here.
That's hilarious. They're like, where are you bringing me, man?
Yeah, it's like, don't worry, you're gonna be here. And like we've had a really good run this year.
Yeah.
We've had The Game, we've had Brent Fires, we've had Neo, we've had we've had Juicy J. That was one of my favorite ones.
Really?
Yeah, because he did all the hits.
Yeah.
And like he drove from Vegas. I guess he doesn't fly. So he drove all the way from Vegas. So he did Dre's earlier that day and then drove to Salt Lake. And shit was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, and did the show and then like left right after.
Crazy.
Yeah. We've got Saucy Santana this weekend, T Grizzly on the way, and then Diesel as well.
Diesel, Shaq.
Like Shaq, yeah.
Do you have to get a special booth for that?
Literally.
Like how you have to get two tables on top of each other? Like what's the rider for Shaq?
For real. So what's funny is our booth is already up on stage decking. And I think what we'll have to do is it's on stage decking, but then like the step to like see it is on a lower stage deck. So I think I'm just gonna have to DJ on a step stool that night.
Yeah, a ladder
or a ladder,
a fireman
for real.
You should get a fire truck. Raises you up.
A scissor lift.
That's great.
But it's been like a growing pain, just trying to get to know people and hey, like, this is happening here in Utah, or like, how can we make this happen? And the biggest thing about Utah is people are late ticket buyers. People are late ticket buyers, especially for hip hop and R&B. And the reason why, is because in the past, these tours announce and they pull them down because of low ticket sales.
Oh,
but people don't buy tickets because these shows always go away. They wait to the last minute. Like there was one show, I think we walked up like 250, 300 tickets.
Wow.
Just like walked up like, oh, it's happening. We're going to go.
Wow, that's crazy. I mean, that's hard because of course the agents and all the people on the back end, they know what things are supposed to look like and patterns that are leading to shows that will not do good. And that's what it looks like. But if you know your own market and what it can be like, then you're like, I promise it'll be okay. But it's a risk on their part.
Yeah, big risk, but it's been paying off, and like agents are starting to see it, and like people are enjoying it, and we have a really good team, man. Like from like our talent buying team all the way down to like our management, our venue team, our security team, like everybody is like on the same page. Like we have some of the best sound and lighting people in the city, bro, and like we have these two young guys like Johnny and Ben. Like these guys are. Like it's so funny because like I'll be DJing and then I'm looking up and I'm seeing them having just as much fun as I am because DJing is 50% of the night. The other 50% is like the lighting and the video. If your lighting guy or your video guys aren't on cue with the drop, like you know what I'm saying?
Happened to me Friday, Saturday night. I was like up there. They're like, make sure you do your drop at 12:30.
Yeah.
And we got this, and then we're gonna do this and all these things. I'm like, all right. So like I did it perfectly.
Yeah.
And I dropped right at 12:30, and it was still like bright lights, and like nothing happened, and the
Bro.
cryo didn't go off, and the confetti didn't come down, and even the lights didn't change, and the screens didn't have the stuff. And I looked at the sound guy, and I go, "Yo, what happened? Did they miss the drop?" And he goes, "Yeah, they missed it." And I go, "Okay."
Yeah.
So then I just went in my head, and I was like, I have another song that I know has a crazy thing, so I'm just gonna act like it's on purpose. And so I mixed quickly out of the first one into the second one again, and they went crazy again. And then when that dropped, it all came down. So I made it work because I knew what was happening. I knew they were probably up there like, shit, what are we going to do? Yeah. But then it all worked out. But it's funny. You could see the big difference of the people like, yo, I was like, yo, I'm DJ Spider. I'm on the mic. I'm like trying to hype him up. And then I go, boom. And then it was like, cool. Like it was good, but it was like without all the stuff, it felt, a bit like, and then when I did the thing, it was like, here we go. I'm like, now I got my GoPro video and it looks cool. But it's a massive part of the night. I mean, at this point, it's becoming more and more. There's groups that I don't want to like say their names because I don't know too much about all of them. But I feel like there's becoming a thing where people are coming to certain shows for just the visuals. And I could not tell you what the songs these people make, but I can tell you what their visual is. I know they have that person that looks like that and then films the crowd and does the hands and the thing attaches to the head and they need a screen that's this high. And that's, it's almost like when they used to have like laser shows and play a Pink Floyd album, it was like, it was just people were coming for that part of it, not even the DJ part, know? So it is both sides. I get what you're saying.
It's linear.
That's cool to see that they're having, Johnny and Ben's out there, that they're having that much fun up there. And it really means a lot to have people that are passionate about their jobs, no matter what it is. It will change things to the next level. So that's cool to hear.
Yeah, and it's, like our VIP team kills it. Our management kills it. Like literally, it's a fun place to work. So like when artists come, they have a great time. Like our artist liaison, Jake, it's fucking hilarious. Like this dude, like we have a vehicle that we pick people up in, and like you can ask Bella about this. He picked her up blasting hardstyle. This man loves hardstyle. Just like gong, windows down in a cowboy hat. But that's Jake. like we're definitely more of like a family over there. Yeah. And it just makes it like, artists and like the bigger artists, like they see that when they come through. They're like, oh shit, like there's something here in Salt Lake. So it's been a growing pain for sure, but it's also like worth it. Yeah.
Very cool. And what is it like being you're somebody that I feel like is a man of the people, or you're homies with everybody. You know everybody in the DJ world. You're a dope DJ yourself. I feel like everybody in our kind of circle knows and respects each other. But not everybody is in charge of doing the booking of a club, and also homies with all the people. So like, what's that like? Like, is it hard to be on that side of things, and to think objectively and to also tell people the truth of that you can't book them, or that you can, or that they're not getting booked back, or I don't know. What are some of the obstacles you've run into on that front?
It's really tough. Yeah, it's really tough. I'm sure. Like even like, cause I help book like another spot in like Boise, right? And I've had to like fire homies. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, right. I'm definitely like I'm a 2-strike person. Okay, first strike. You know what I'm saying? Like first strike. All right, bet. What happened? Right. You know what I'm saying? Get all the details. Yeah. You were too fucked up. Don't get fucked up again. Yeah. What are you doing? Like don't get fucked up again. Right. But even like for example, like with Sky, right? Like people are. It's very. The unfortunate thing that I'm learning just seeing about nightlife is like people, I feel like, don't really care too much about who's DJing. Right. Like they care, but like unless you're an artist, unless you're like Tiesto, you know what I'm saying? Like it's very rare. No one's coming to see Bangarang. Like people might, you know what I'm saying? I know what you mean. Yes. Like it's like. Yeah. A lot of times our DJ, it's more of I guess more of our purpose is to be able to be super professional, keep the club going, keep everything, and just be able to handle any situation that happens, keep people there, keep people spending, and work with the other artists that are there. There's a lot of things that go into it of why someone would be a professional in that thing. And it's not always necessarily, oh, they made that dope edit. Yeah. Or they did that cool
mix together or whatever.
Yeah. So it's like,
and not that you shouldn't do that. It all goes part of it, but like
keep doing that shit.
Keep doing it, please. And we're adding to the culture, and being a dope DJ means a lot, and that will get you somewhere. But I think that there's different things that go into it, and it's evolved over time. And now it's a very ticket sales based thing where that's why they want artists, or the guy from Vanderpump Rules can have residencies and bring in people. You know what I mean? And it's like whatever. And I'm not even saying that's bad. I'm just saying that's where we are. You know, as a
correct. And it's like one thing we've like kind of reverted back to is just like we only have like at Sky like 4 or 5 residents that we rotate through
from out of town.
Shit, maybe 3 or 4 from out of town.
Okay.
But like the rest are like locals.
Right.
And it's like the reason why we do that is because like these are people who've been playing the room for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So like they know the room. Like they know it. So like I'm just honest with people. It's like, yo, like every year I create a list of DJs of who I want, and then I send it to the ownership group. I'm like, yo, this person's doing this person's doing this person's doing this.
Right.
They'd be cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then the ownership would be like, okay, cool. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no.
Yeah.
Like it's, you know what I'm saying? Like my job is to like, and radio taught me this, like working within like your circle of concern. Like,
interesting.
like there's so many people I want to put, but like if the owner's saying this is your circle of concern, then this is my sandbox.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I have to play within this sandbox.
Yeah.
So like if, you know what I'm saying, Joey and Vaughn are like, you know, we don't want this person. You know what I'm saying? Like it's nothing personal against that person.
Right.
It's just that like maybe they have a relationship with this person, or maybe this person like has relationships out here and like has people who comes and sees them.
Right.
You know, or they just have been coming to Salt Lake for so long that they just know the room.
Yeah.
Like it's, you know, it's like the thing about it, and I'm sure you've seen it in your travels, like DJing has just become so accessible now.
Yeah.
That it's like that the allure of like, oh, like this DJ is doper than the other DJ is like, yeah, that may be true, but at the same time, like I feel like the pool of dope DJs has expanded. Yes. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm trying to figure out where I'm going with this. So it's
well, you're just saying for your bookings and dealing with people that are in your circle, but not in your circle of concern.
Yeah.
But in your circle of like, oh, this would be a dope DJ to have in, but like you can't do it, or you know, like, and that there's dope DJs all over the place. Like I've noticed it too. Like when I used to start traveling in 2006, 2007, I was one of the only DJs, and there was like the opening DJs were like, how do you have this stuff? What are you doing? Like we're all learning. Like now there's Beatsource, there's DJ City, there's all these things. Everyone has access to everything. Also, you can learn much faster. You can watch. There was no YouTube. Like I didn't have any DJ friends either. I had to meet Steve Wonder, and we'd be like, what do you do? I do this, you know? So it's just a different world. I mean, I think that's what you're getting at with it, right?
Yeah, like it is a different world. So like everybody has the ability to be a dope DJ, right? And like it's up to you to like if you want to like push it that far. But it's like, you know, I have a lot of younger guys and girls who are like, yo, how do I get into these rooms? Blah, 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 blah. It's like, yo, you got to come and you actually got to see. Like I'm not going to, and this is like not shade towards anybody who like plays primarily on a controller, right? But like I don't book controller DJs who've been DJing for like 3 or 4 years. Like I won't do that.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because like I would rather have an established veteran. Like that's great. You can bring 20, 30 people and play for your friends.
Yeah.
I don't care about that. Like that's great.
Yeah.
I want the DJ who's going to be able to play for Martha, who's celebrating her birthday, but then play for Jimmy, you know what I'm saying, who just got a raise over here, who has this table over here.
Yeah. But
also keep general admission. Right. You know? And somebody who's been DJing for 4 or 5 years, there's no way in hell you're gonna know how to do that.
Yeah.
You've been doing this long enough to where you know that like a night can change like that.
Oh yeah.
Like that. So it's like it's like when it comes to like me and like the DJs I look for and just how I even decided, for me it's an experience thing. I don't care if you've got 2,000 followers or 20,000 followers. Like is the manager gonna call me? Like my manager, like Max, our manager at Sky, he's this man will hotline me, like
in the middle of the night.
Yeah, and I'm like mid set, yo, who the fuck is this? And like I get it because he's trying to keep VIPs happy. So like it's like made us like a little bit more meticulous. But this is also why like my like list of DJs who I book is like it's slim.
Yeah.
And it's because like once again, I'm not gonna have any problems with these guys.
Yeah.
You know, and like I'll try other people out in like some of the other venues I work at, you know, out of state or whatnot. But it's just like it's hard. You can't make everybody happy.
Yeah.
You know, but like it is what it is. And like if you're just honest with people, I found like that's the best thing.
Yeah.
I've also like it's also kind of shifted my perspective too. Because now I used to be frustrated when I would reach out to venues and be like, I'm doing all this dope stuff here, but I'm not even getting an email back, or they're like, oh, we're not interested, or da 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 da. And I'm just like, man, like, why don't y'all want to fuck with me? Like, I'm cool.
Right.
But from a talent buyer's perspective, I'm like, I get it now.
Yeah, now you have a better understanding.
It makes sense, you know? And like, there's nothing wrong with there's nothing wrong with gig swapping. I'm just not big on that.
Right.
You know?
No, I don't think that's not a longevity. That's not a way to keep a long career. It's a hopping, you know, like lily pad hop thing.
Yeah.
Like maybe you go straight forward with that. You're not going up by the gig swap, you know, like, and it's fun if you want to go DJ in Boise or wherever, you know what I mean? Or anywhere, but it's not something that could lead to a long career. In a way. Yeah, I agree. I've always said that since the beginning, because I remember when gig swapping even started, you know, and there was even booking agents in the beginning that were like, well, I'm sure they still do it. But
it's still
give me money on the, like, I'm going to get you this much and then you give me this much on the back end. And I remember people would offer me that. I was like, hell no. Like, what is the purpose of that? I want to be booked for my rate because they want me there. This is never going to end well, you know, and it never did. Those clubs went out of business. Those people are not in the business anymore. None of those people are around anymore.
Right. And like, there's people who still do it, and it's like, that's cool.
Yeah,
like handle that shit. Like, if that's how you do business, that's how you.
And
do
there's
business.
ways you could use it in different ways, but I just think if you base your whole thing off that, it's not gonna.
Like, where's the want? To me, it's like, where's the want to get better?
Yeah,
you know, like you said, I want to be booked because like I'm Bangarang and I'm dope.
Yeah,
you know, I know how to like rock a room. I know how to keep a room. I like have edits and shit like that, but also understand that like, you know, like I want to be a good fit for your room versus like, all right, I'm getting you here in Salt Lake.
Right.
Come get me in Colorado or some shit like that.
Right.
But yeah.
It's not the best way to go about things. You know, it's cool if you want to get experience and different things, and there's ways to utilize it. But I don't think if you base your whole thing off it and then post on social media, oh, I'm here, there, like you're not really in those places because the people want you there necessarily, you know.
Exactly.
And maybe it'll lead to something else, but who knows?
Often than not, like
yeah, that's true. Man, so crazy. And what are some other stories or obstacles or good things or things you've learned from being the booker on that side? Maybe not necessarily with the open format DJs, but with anything. Because like you said, you're booking big acts, and you even mentioned tonight, like we're in LA and you came here, you're going to go out to a club and check someone out that potentially could be someone, and you're talking to an agency who's bringing you to this place. And so that's pretty cool. Yeah. And like what is all that like, or what are different obstacles, or like,
I mean, like I
said,
good
things you've learned?
Patience and just following up. One thing I've always like, I've had to change this about myself. I've always been like an ask twice person. That's not the case. Sometimes you gotta ask 3, 4, 5. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I know it's so hard. Me too. Like, I sometimes if I don't get it 1 time or 2 times, I'm like, I'm done. You know, but you do have to just keep going, and people forget. And even with me, like, I'll be like, oh my God, I forgot to, you know, like, you don't know. We all have so many things going on in our life. And I think when you're the DJ, you're the main character of your own movie, but you're not the main character of anybody else's movie. So just realize that these people are their own main character, and they got all the other side characters and people yelling at them. Yeah. You're on the outside, you know what I mean? And maybe in your world, you're the biggest and your mom thinks you're really cool. Yeah. But like, besides that, like, you have to keep pushing, you know. Even the biggest people, they're gonna forget songs they put out, or, you know, famous people and stuff like that, you know. And like, to go back to what you're saying with the bookings where someone didn't like someone or did like someone, I talk to DJs all the time, like, why do you think I'm not getting booked there again, you know? And I'm like, I don't think you should take it so personally. It could be an endless list of things of why you're not booked there, and it could have nothing to do with your DJ set or who you are. You know, you're taking it so personal, you know. So there's a lot of other factors that you have no idea what's going on, and that's why I've had to learn that too over time. But you just to really try not to take it personal. You know, it's hard, but Yeah, that's like a big thing within it, right?
Yeah, man. That's been a big thing, and it's also just cool to learn another like tool in this industry. Like George Clooney had this quote, and he was like, I can't remember exactly what he said, but like, you should know everything in your specific industry. You know what I'm saying? Like I know DJing, I know radio, like I'm learning production, and now I'm learning talent buying. Like I want to like be like, I want to learn as much as I can about this industry as possible. Right. I'm 32. I'll be 33 in January. And it's like, all right, bet. Am I gonna DJ for a longer period of time, or who knows? Maybe I can get a job talent buying in like a bigger market. Yeah. And like do some shit there. You know, like there's so many, like by learning this, there's so many more opportunities. I don't know that Salt Lake is my last stop. I know Salt Lake is growing. Yeah. But I also know that like I've always wanted to live in like Vegas or San Diego or Scottsdale. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Or even at maybe not LA. It's too many people out here. Way too many people out here. Come visit us. Yeah, I'll come visit you guys. But like there's always been like a want to just explore more. Yeah. So,
yeah. And I mean, as you've shown through this whole story, man, like the experience is like a chain link, you know, it's it just keeps linking on, and it doesn't go away. Yeah. It's solid. And like you've gotten to this point, and now all that stuff you've built up can get you to those next points. And it's not like you're going to lose out on that. Like every single thing leads to a new thing, you know, and you also never know the thing that you thought was the best thing that then you missed out on, and now your life's ruined. And the thing you thought was the worst thing that they ended up doing, it could be the opposite. The best thing could have led to the worst thing, and the worst thing could lead to the best thing. So it's important to just try to be level-headed and just put in the work, and try to also take a step back and realize why you're doing this. Check in with your happiness and your drive and what you're doing, and notice if you're kind of getting drunk all the time or whatever. Like you mentioned to me, you're like, I was like, hey, you know, we have drinks in the fridge here. You want a White Claw? You're like, I'm going sober. You're like, we've been on a tear since August, so me and my friends are going sober. And I'm like, I mean, yo, so many episodes lately, people have been talking about their sober journeys and the different reasons why and what it's led to. And I'm not sober, so I'm not like saying, but I'm also not like insane drinker, but but I know that, I think it's important, you know, to check in with yourself in this world, you know, with the mental health, and, you know, it's a buzzword, but it's the truth, and with the alcohol and with the whatever you're doing, you know, right? So, I mean, how did it lead to you being sober for whatever? You said 60 days you're doing? Yeah. So okay, that's a good goal.
Like my birthday's in January, and then the plan is, we actually just booked the Airbnb today. Okay. Me and like 5 or 6 of the homies are going to go to Scottsdale and just
go crazy that night.
Yeah, we're gonna turn our phones off that weekend.
Okay. Don't get arrested or anything.
For real.
Scottsdale's crazy.
Yeah. But we basically, man.
When's your birthday? January what?
January 5th.
Okay.
So I've had like within like the past like year, I've had like a lot of like personal stuff go down. Like a lot of personal stuff. And I haven't had like the best coping habits. I won't even lie to you, bro. Like it's been like learning a new job, you know, dealing with like what I've been dealing with and stuff. It's been tough. Yeah. And the way I've been handling it, it's just been like partying. And I had a spurt in there where I went like a couple months sober, and then I was feeling great. I was getting shit done, but then slowly by like June, I started like drinking more. Yeah. July, August, we're drinking more. Right. September, it's fucking full sin. Right.
Full sin life.
And then like by Halloween, it's like, whoo. And we just, like, I work out 3 to 4 times a week, but I don't look like I work out 3 to 4 times a week. And I think a large part of that has to do with the fact that, like, you know, we're killing like a bottle of tequila every weekend. Right. You know, like between like 3 of us, 4 of us, which is, it's not a lot, but it's a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like you shouldn't be drinking like that. Yeah, yeah. So it was just kind of like, yo, like let's get healthy together. You know, like I've also like in July I like started therapy and been doing that like once a week, and it's been cool. Yeah, man. Like it's been like really cool for me, especially, and I recommend it to everybody, you know.
And so how did you, because there's so much talk about that, and the one thing that I notice is like, I guess that gets me wondering sometimes, or for other people, is like, people like go to therapy, but like, how do you take that first step to like find a therapist or do it? Like you're like in your house, I want to do it. Like where would somebody go to even start that process?
Man, I just Googled therapist in Utah. Okay. And like literally, and you can like, my therapist actually lives in San Diego, but we do virtual sessions.
Oh, okay.
And like, because of my job, like I'm full time, so I have benefits.
Yeah.
So that like covers half of it.
It's great.
And it's like you could literally just Google therapist, and like you can like look out, like for me, I wanted an African American woman because I wanted someone I could relate to. You know, like give me like that type of nurturing that I felt like I needed.
Yeah,
right?
Totally.
And it's like I met this woman, and you know, we, like I said, we talk once a week, and she's just like, the thing about therapy that's cool is I feel like as DJs, just anybody in nightlife, we tend to just get in our head about shit. Like I used to think there was something wrong with me because I just like to be alone. She's like, actually no, like that's
probably
that's
healthy,
normal.
honestly.
Yeah, she's
Some
like,
people hate to be alone.
nah, like bro, I love to like come home to my house, like it's quiet, clean. I have no kids, I have no pets, and just like be by myself.
Yeah.
Sit, like watch South Park with the subtitles on, put the volume off. Like
very quiet.
Yeah, very quiet. Because we just like, I talk all day. I'm on my phone, emails all day.
Right.
You know, go to the club. You know what I'm saying? On the weekends, it's we have to put that face on it.
Right.
We could be having the shittiest day, but as soon as we step in that club, it's
Yep.
That's why I like got this tattoo and shit, because it's like
I like
the
that
theater one. Like that's what that means. It's like we're like happy, but then it's like no matter like what we're going through, like anyways.
Right. And comedy, tragedy, like it's just all together, and
But we like therapy is like as simple as just Googling like therapist near me and just like finding someone. Like I use this website called Alma. There's another website called BetterHelp. You know, like there's all these different resources out there that's like it can be pricey. You know, but like
but like you said, if people do have insurance, it is something that can be covered.
Yeah, it's something that can be covered through your insurance. And like for me, it's just been nice to have somebody to download to that's not related to me,
right?
That I could be completely vulnerable to and be like, hey, am I crazy for thinking this? Am I weird for thinking this?
If you talk to your family or close people or relationship people or wives, girlfriends, boyfriends, this, that, like, it's different. They can't be that objective person, and they haven't been trained. I mean, these people go to school for this kind of stuff in the same way we're DJs and we know how to handle certain situations.
Yeah.
They're not just some person you're on Zoom with. They have trained a lot and dealt with so many experiences and so many things, I think, to be able to understand what they're dealing with and adapt the same way a DJ would to a crazy room, right?
And it's like, it's been really cool.
That's
like,
great.
It's really like kind of like leveled me out like emotionally and stuff like that. And like, I feel like it's transferred over to my DJ sets more because I'm able to like just focus. I'm able to block out like bullshit and be like, nah, this is good.
Yeah.
I've handled this. Like for me, therapy has helped me just problem solve.
Yeah.
Like just like what she does is like she'll, at least, you know, in this situation in particular, like she'll talk you through problems. So you're coming up with the answer.
Right.
She's just asking questions that you normally wouldn't ask yourself in this situation. It's like, I'm unhappy, you know what I'm saying, with how this situation played out. Well, why are you unhappy about this situation? Da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
Okay, and then a follow-up question of that, and then a follow-up question of that. 3 questions later, you've concluded why, and then you're able to move on to the next thing. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But like 10 out of 10, like recommend that shit for anybody who's going through like any sort of like depression, self-doubt. Like yes.
That's great. That's great to hear.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's inspirational.
I know it's like taboo as shit to like talk about, but yeah.
It is. It was and is, but I think it's becoming more and more, and I think it's important. You know, we had Brian Henry on here a few weeks ago, and I mean, he does so many amazing things in that space and beyond, and just was like, a lot of the stuff he was saying was very informative and inspirational, and you know, just being able to help each other, and even just things like this, spreading the word. It might inspire someone to do that, because you don't realize, the human brain's crazy. You're tricking yourself nonstop. You're stuck in these cycles nonstop.
Yeah, bro.
Especially even with DJing and all of it, and it can help you, like you said, in your relationships, but also in your professional life, and just being a DJ, which seems crazy, but it's true.
Yeah, like it. You know, going back to like the. You know, I haven't traveled that much this year. You know what I'm saying? And it's been like why don't these people fuck with me type thing, da-da-da-da-da. And it's not that it's been hard to stay self-motivated, but it can be hard to, like, when you feel like you're missing out on opportunities and whatnot, right? But even she's just like, yo, like you need to stay self-motivated. Like, you know, you're looking for validation by getting these gigs when like in reality, like your validation should be the fact that like you play with literally anyone who come, like any of the big artists who comes through Salt Lake. Like I only play the biggest and best rooms in Utah, you know, that's Sky and downstairs. And like I'll play a few other spots like London Bell. But outside of that, you won't see me anywhere else. And to me, that's a blessing.
Yeah.
That, like, you know, Seth wants me as his, I'm playing downstairs every weekend this month.
Oh, it's amazing.
Know? But then also like opening for and playing with all these artists at Sky, like, like that's good, you know, versus traveling.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's you versus you.
Yeah.
And you have to, you forget about a lot of the accomplishments and all the other things, and you have to kind of remind yourself. And when you get in those moments that like, it's not the person booking you or the other thing that needs to validate you or make you feel good or bad about yourself, you know, and the staying, if you really think about it, the self-motivation and doing stuff when nobody cared and no one fucked with you was what got you to where you are.
Correct.
So if you then switch it to like, okay, now I got here. Now I'm going to let everyone else motivate and validate me. Yeah. You're going to fall apart. You have to keep that same motivation and you have to keep that same curiosity and that same drive and that same love for it. And if you don't have it, then shift and pivot.
Yeah.
But you're exactly. I think that's such a cool point and way to think about it. And yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, no, thanks, man.
I need to go back to therapy. Google. Now I've done it on and off here and there and tried different people, and you know, it was also a matter of figuring out like sometimes I was like, am I going to somebody just to go? Do I actually like this person? I don't know. And then they were helping me, but I want to switch. But then am I not giving it too long enough time? So I need to switch. And like you said, should I be talking to a man? Okay, I'm going to try to talk to a woman. I don't know if there's a difference. And it's interesting. But it's I think it's cool that it's becoming something that people can talk about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
Oh man, we've been talking,
rapping.
Doing it, but I mean, there's a few more things that, you know, if you don't have to go, like we could talk
here,
about.
Bro.
Okay,
I'm literally I flew here just for this.
Okay,
so like
let's do a 24-hour podcast.
24 hours.
Sorry, Vlats. Vlats just looks at us with a scrunched up face, like I will kill you. He's like, I'm done, guys. It's about to be 420, bro. We won't smoke. Don't worry.
Please.
We had a bad experience in Vegas with that. I almost ruined Bangarang's life.
Bro, it cost me $700 to get home. I'm so bad.
Oh, God, I'm sorry.
So bad.
It was your friend's fault, not me. No.
DJ is a menace, but oh, my goodness. Oh, I think about that night often.
Oh, God. We've had a few cool nights. You know, we hung out in Vegas at Tao when I played. You came to my floor room, sat here, too. But, yeah, Vegas, we may have partook, I don't know, in some smoking after. I tried to warn you. I said, be careful, don't.
Yeah.
And then I guess you had a crazy night, missed your flight or something.
I fell asleep.
I told you not to fall asleep.
I said, I ain't no bitch. And like, hey.
I said, I'm not peer pressuring. Do whatever you want.
Said,
but,
fuck it. Bang missed his flight.
All right, sorry. Well, I costed you money.
It's all good. We're here now.
We're here now. Well, what about, I mean, do you have any other crazy stories you want to tell of like getting too faded or crazy things in the club?
Oh, man. You know, not really.
Okay. We don't need to talk about that.
Because most of them I don't remember.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
I don't drink when I DJ anymore. I did stop that.
Oh, really? Okay. Ever. Even before the sober thing.
Even before, like it was, nice. I had like a night where I just got insanely, like it was at Sky actually. I got insanely faded. It was Super Bowl night. Chiefs won. Shout out to Chiefs. And we were backstage, and if you've ever been in like backstage, there's a green room back there with stairs, and Big Dog was faded, like lights out.
Oh wow!
Like lights were out. Like there was, and I was coming down the stairs. And I slipped and I fell like on my back, just like. And the next morning, I'm like, "Yo, what the fuck happened?" And my homies were like, "Bro, you were out of control last night."
Right.
Like falling, slipping, and like ever since then, like I would have like maybe one or two before, where like during my sets,
Yeah.
I've cut back insane. Unless it's like me and my friends, we have a rule, unless it's like a special occasion. So like if I'm DJing Park City and DJ Spider pulls up and he's like, yo, you want a drink? All right. I'm gonna have a drink with DJ Spider. You know what I'm saying? But like, but somebody else like who I see all the time, I'm gonna see you. I'm good, bro.
Yeah.
Like I'm good. But like we call it like the drink up rule, where we just drink up with someone. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Right. If it's a special occasion, that's a good way to look at it. And then if you never drink, then whatever too. You know what I mean? It's like I find it weird when people are like weirded out if somebody else isn't going to drink or do something. You know, it's like, come on.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own life. You know, why should we be pressured? I know we're in a bar or a club, but it's like, come on.
Yeah.
Well, what about and I know you mentioned like that social media has impacted DJing, you know, negatively and positively.
Yeah.
What's your take on that or some examples? I mean, there's Twitter obviously is a lot of fight. I was saying you put a question on your flight here, asked me a question. You got like 100 questions, people asking all kinds of stuff. I was saying if we ran out of time, we could go through it. But there's a lot of people love to talk about DJing on there, and especially on Twitter or X or whatever it's called. There, a lot of discussions and funny things and things that mean nothing and things that are important. I mean, how do you think social media has affected DJing, like negatively and positively?
It's a double-edged sword. I think positive. We'll start with the negative first. No, we'll go with the positive first. We'll go with the positive.
The good news or
first.
the bad news?
Yeah. So the positive of it, I feel, is now it's like people who are really talented and really creative are getting their shine, you know, or getting like their much deserved shine. They're getting their bread. You know, people are seeing that the DJ is just more than the person, you know what I'm saying, in the corner of the room, or just like the person up there just pressing buttons. The cons to this is people think that they can do it. Like, not that you can't, but it's just like people take that, like the years that you may have put in, that like people take the years that you've put in for granted. Right. Oh, well, Spider's up there and he's on a controller, so I can be up there on a controller. It's like you have no idea like the work that like Spider puts in. You know what I'm saying? Like you have no idea how long like the work that like it's the whole iceberg thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like people are only seeing this. That shit go deep. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's so true.
Like people
a lot below the surface and leading up to that.
Yeah, like people. It's like social media has like I feel like has just made DJing like just this thing to where like people just want to get up there and look cool. It's not even about DJing anymore. Like it's from my experience, right? Like and like just the people like I've dealt with and like and just certain situations I've been in. It's like, all right, let me get up here with my controller, put my sunglasses on, have my friends around me, and I'm John Summit. Like no disrespect to John Summit, but you know what I'm saying? It's like. But once again, people don't know like the time that John Summit has put in.
Exactly.
It's social media has made people just feel like that they need it instantly. Like I don't care that you can bring 20 people and play for your friends. I said it earlier. Like I want to see experience. Like there's younger DJs in my city and like homies can't even like transition clean, but feel like they should be in like these rooms. And I'm like, if you really know DJing, then transitioning is like clean transition doesn't matter how you get there. Whether you're slamming, whether you're blending, it can kill a room. Like a bad mix, like especially with intros, like how you fuck up a transition with intros. Yeah. I've witnessed this.
I know. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And it's like, but social media has like forgiven that because it's like people just go up there and they get their clip of them playing the hot song, and it's like, oh, that guy's popping, or that girl's popping. And it's like, that's not even remotely close. Like, there's levels to this shit. But I also feel like, with that being said, like, because it's made the game so saturated, I also feel like within like the next 3 to 4 years, like, it's going to become less saturated because these people come up so quick, they get tired. Yeah. Like there are people who are like,
you're right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, well, what's next? Bro, I'm 33. Like, you can DJ till you're like 50, 55 now. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you think I'm going anywhere anytime soon, that's fucking crazy.
Right. Yeah,
like, that's fucking crazy. Like, like get in line, Junior. Like practice. So like social media I feel like has gotten rid of like the need or want to practice because people can do like a cool blend or whatever, which there's nothing wrong with. Like that shit's great, but it's like for the average club goer, you know, like they sure they might want to hear that blend, but they also want to hear shit that like they know, and like social media has just made people, has created this facade that like what we do is easy.
Yes.
And it's like it's not.
Right.
It's just not. But I love it. But it's also like
it's a good point, because it is true. Like there's all kinds of blends and things I wish I could have like made videos for back in the day, you know. And I'm making a CD and handing it out, hoping someone listens to it. So that's cool. But on the other hand, it just makes like, people think that it's easier than it is, or you know.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. Or even when you're doing gigs and they're like, can't you just put a beat on that song and remix it? I'm like, no, you can't.
Like,
it's not what we're doing.
Literally. So, it's a double-edged sword, but everything has you got to take the good with the bad. So.
Right. Yeah. That's true. No, good point. I know just like I said this weekend, it was one of those nights where like they missed the drop when I did the intro, and like everything was just like, it was a lot. Like the person opening was on a completely different, not Serato.
Yeah.
Like they were on a different
record
computer. Yeah, no, it was like Tractor.
Oh, who uses Tractor?
I don't know. I'm not trying to call anybody out.
No,
so I don't know.
I'm calling Homeland Security.
and they're on an S11. So it's like trying to make an S11 work with the Tractor. And they had this like third CDJ for me to use for the changeover. And I put the USB stick in, and I don't know what the hell was going on. It was on some weird sync mode where it would not get out of the BPM it was on. So it was somehow just synced to like 92, but I'm playing like 103 BPM hip hop song, but I can't get it to go faster. So it's playing super loud in like a Vegas club, and it's like so slow, and you can tell people are looking around like, why does this sound bad? And nothing's working, and it was just like a lot going on. And it's like sometimes, you know, as if I was the opener, I'd be like helping doing everything, you know. It seemed like it was like I was up there fending for myself. I'm taking cords out and chroma cables and plugging them in. Like, we got to do this.
The opener's just nowhere to be found. Huh?
It was a lot. I don't know. Well, they were only new Tractor. I don't know what was happening. But I was like, you don't even know how USB to do. It was, you know, that's whatever. We have ups and downs.
Yes.
But they don't know what we go through, even to this day. You know?
Yeah, man.
They only see the little things on social media.
Yeah.
What about like going forward? You know, you seem like you've constantly been evolving, and you kind of get your eyes on the prize, or you find a new thing and you go into it. Do you have other? I know you've done production, and we talked about it. You came out with an EP. We didn't really talk about it that much, but it was dope. I listened to it today. I got to listen to it again in my car actually, and I love where you're going with it. It sounded like you were creating a sound for yourself. I like the theme of it with the interludes and the breakup and the cousin and the thing, and then going into the party songs. So is that something that you still want to do more in the future? Like, what are some upcoming goals and what's next, you know, in the future?
Definitely music production, right? The EP is something I've been working on. Like I said, like I had like some personal stuff going on.
Yeah.
You know, we'll talk about it more off air.
Okay.
But like the EP is kind of like detailing that. Like I have, I kind of have I have a series planned out of like how, like my next project, right? Because I've done all these different things in all these different cities, and I'll just like say it here, like, so my next project is going to be called like the Boise tapes. Because I go to Boise a lot.
Yeah.
And like, I miss when artists used to put interludes in the music.
Oh yeah.
Because it helped tells the story. And I feel like with this last CP, like it was cool, but I could have tied it in a little bit better. But like with this next project, right? Like it's and I've already started working on it. It's going to be like, it's going to tell more of like a story of like what this weekend is like in Boise. You know what I'm saying? Like versus like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. I like that concept.
So just I want to like when I just think about like my favorite albums, you know, they all tell a story. Like I'm a big Kanye fan, and like especially like his earlier music with like all the interlude, you know, broke, we ain't got it. Like
yeah,
like,
for sure.
Like those are things that like stick out in
I'm
my
sure
memory.
He's taking that from De La Soul and like all those, you know, the original ones that had it. And,
yeah. Yeah, and just like I want to be able to like tell that story, but definitely music production.
Dope.
You know, I'm gonna like keep DJing and like keep making edits and mashups and stuff, and you know, stay on this talent buying thing as well. You know, I think I've like I don't have to make a decision right now.
No,
I feel
not
like
at all.
Eventually, I will, but I feel like I'm doing both, and I'm doing all right. You know,
Yeah,
like,
no, I don't think you have to make a decision. It seems like you're doing great. You know, and following you're alert to what's happening. And I think that's the most important, you know, especially even with the going sober and having therapy within all of it. You're trying to make yourself healthy in your mind to be able to see what should be done, I guess, right?
Yeah, thank you.
So, I think it all plays into it. And
thank you.
man, your story is inspirational. Really cool to see where you've taken it. And I'm sure there's only way more, you know, to go up from there.
We'll see, man. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Well, dope, man. Thanks for making the trip out here.
Of course.
And have fun tonight. I hope that artist is dope.
Yeah. I'm gonna go see Saint Harrison. So I'm
I gotta look him up.
I'll send you his music. He's really cool.
Yeah,
really cool. Like R&B guy.
Yeah. Oh, and you were saying, I mean, just before we get out of here, but you were saying in the booking process, so you're going to see Saint Harrison tonight, and R&B is really growing along with Afro beats, Amapiano, and a lot of different kind of global sounds, and old school sounds, and even combining them. I've heard dope R&B Amapiano stuff, you know. So, that's playing into your talent buying and the different things that you're looking into. Yeah.
So what's crazy, and a lot of people don't know this, is Utah. We get a lot of African refugees, a lot, and have been like a space for African refugees to come for like as far as I can. I'm not from there, but like. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow, forever, you know? And as like we have a large Sudanese population, we have a large Nigerian population, we have a large Kenyan population. Yeah. And like you wouldn't think about it. Yeah. But like these people are out there. So, you know, we did this Amapiano and Afrobeats party with June. Like I gotta give my bro Teddy credit because he's been in my ear about it. He's been do an Afrobeat and Amapiano party right now. Yeah. You know, and then June came to me with that concept, and we kind of all put it together. And like we probably had about 200 people in this small space, bro. Yeah. And like the next day there was another Afrobeat and Amapiano party. You know, shout out this guy DJ Mac, and like there's guys who've been pushing that culture, but like that culture is there and it's growing, and especially with how big Afrobeat and Amapiano is coming, I think it's not coming, it's here. Yeah. You know, like Burner Boy is selling out arenas. You know, like it's here. Yeah. So and I just think like, you know, for so long, like the Latino community has like had like kind of like a stronghold on everything, that it's like people who are into that are like, all right, bet, cool, like, well, what about this? Yeah. You know, like how can we provide this? So like, you know, it's been cool to be able to like be the guy, not like be the guy to push that, because I'm not that guy. Like I will not.
I know what you mean, though, but you play a role in it.
Yeah, to like help like spoon feed it to the masses. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course.
To be the guy to
That's
be
what
like,
I try to do at Flow Room and stuff too. You see, you know, I'm playing different edits and different stuff, and I try to get it in my sets here and there when I travel around, if it fits right, you know, make sure the room's feeling it and do it in that certain way where you sandwich it between stuff that they might know or something. Yeah.
So it's, you know, it's that's one of the cool things about like my position though. It's like being like able to like put guys like June and DJ Mock and DJ Oba and all these other like Afrobeat DJs, you know, in a position to like push that shit and like show people that, hey, there is a market for this. We should be pursuing this. Yeah. You know, it's kind of like really cool just to be able to like put people on, because I don't like, I opened. Yeah. I opened at this party and like I'm in the back with Shazam, like, hey.
Oh yeah, I know.
Like as these guys are just playing hits.
That's dope.
You know, so it's like it's cool.
Really cool, really cool. And I know you just put a Beatsource and DJ Sadie just did a gig log thing of you DJing at the Utah. Well, you do the University of Utah, right?
Yeah. So I'm their pregame DJ. Okay. So every
you do a lot of stuff.
Man, bro, I need a nap. But yeah, every Utah football home game, I DJ. So I'll play like the first 2 hours leading up to it, and man, like DJing for events are crazy. I also do the men's basketball as well. Okay. But I've kind of just been outsourcing that to some of the younger homies because I'm man.
You're busy.
Like weekday gigs are like rough.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
But yeah, I DJ for them and I start 2 hours prior and it's cool. Like I've been doing that for about 4 years.
That's
but this was
dope.
the first This was the first year that they put me up in the press box though. Like, man, there's food up there. There's coffee.
Way better perks.
I'm living, bro.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
living. But
like
yeah.
I can go longer now. That's dope. Well, yeah, they do. So everyone that wants to check it, there's a gig log I think just posted, right?
Yeah,
From
today,
Beatsource
which is
DJs.
crazy.
Yeah, today.
Yeah.
So Beatsource DJ City followed them around. I was trying to see if I could do that with that thing I'm doing next week, that Netflix gig.
Yeah, what they say.
Yeah, it's just a matter of that it's in like 4 days. I need to like figure this all out. Like everything happened, so I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but
I understand.
would be dope if I could.
I understand.
But if not, I'll definitely film some stuff myself.
Yeah.
Show people what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. Well, yo, thanks for making the trip out here,
Of course,
and
man. It's an honor, bro.
yeah. Oh well, it was great having you on, and I'm sure we'll hang. I'm sure I'll be with you at least in January. I'll be
Yes.
up in Utah for at least a week for Sundance Film Festival, so I'm sure I'll be
funny.
hanging somewhere late night doing something. If anyone wants to rent me a house, tell me. And trying to bring an army of DJs up there, do gigs. But yeah, man, thank you again, and I'll see you out there.
Appreciate you,
All right.
Spider.
All right. Thank you, Bangarang, for coming out here and making that happen. That was great being able to talk to you about all this stuff. I learned so much. I'm sure everybody out there did. Thank you to the Beatsourcers for tuning in. You know, this show is available everywhere. You can watch us on YouTube. You can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, all over the place. Hit me on Instagram if you want to talk to me at DJ Spider, DJ SPIDER. The 20 podcast is produced by Beatsource. Join us next week for more interviews as we discuss music that matters to DJs. I'm DJ Spider signing off. Peace.